Alright, Jack, the game is up, but ooh, what is down is the scoreboard. I am so freaking sorry. Could you introduce the players for me while I fix that?
In the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, we have Team Liquid's newest member, Snute, taking down Home Story Cup. All kinds of high-level players, and in the top right-hand corner of the screen, we have his opponent, winner of the last tournament, the last Yegalis Masters Cup. It's Kerr.
Yep. Alright, so the scoreboard is fixed. It's 0-0. The matches are just starting the semi-final, and as we said, considering the level of the players, this may be a small unofficial... God damn, your keyboard is loud.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm sure the viewers enjoy that. I do that all the time, you know, my keyboard is mechanical as well. Or do you just hit yours so hard?
I try not to, I'm working on it. It's a skill, you know?
By the way, considering that we have a very stable opening right now, by the way, my mother is one of the heaviest hitters of keyboards that I have ever seen in life. She used to be a typist back in the days where there were no computers, so she got used to a typing machine where you had to beat it with a finger in order to type a letter, and you know, the harder you hit, the better the letter looked.
Yep.
So she carried that over to the computers, and if you see her typing right now, you know, you would think, my God, this poor keyboard, it didn't deserve this. Yeah, so anyway, my mother also was an inspiration to me to learn to type faster than she did, which took me 5 years, but but I got there.
Really? How fast do you type, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm not an extremely fast typer, around 370 characters per minute.
Nice.
So it's not super fast. I mean, I had a roommate who, his hand just went blur around the keyboard, and he wasn't even looking or paying attention to what he was typing. So then I said, okay, I'm not going to challenge this guy. My mother is one thing, you know, I'm not able to type that fast. Now Snute doing a nice little thing, getting back to the game, a nice little thing where Kerr was scouting for his expansion. He didn't make it, he made it on the third spot, and instead, you know, he also went for six Zerglings, which is, I think, a standard introduced by Nerdshow. He was the one who has been doing it for the longest time, and you know, it always has the possibility of doing some nice damage if you are not up to par with the probe. Oh my God! Will the Zerglings go through? Yes, they do!
Make it through!
Oh!
Wow!
So
should have had that whole position on the probe, and Snute smartly capitalizes on the mistake.
Yeah, a very good move. Now, this is huge, because if you're playing Forge Fuzz Expand, the earliest where you are going to get rid of these Zerglings is where you actually get a Stalker. Or if they go berserk and attack your workers, and you have a chance to hit back.
Option.
Yeah. But for a long time, you're just naked in front of your opponent. He knows exactly what you're doing when you're doing it, and he's eavesdropping. He's just watching you all the time. Not a very good position for Kerr right now.
No, not at all. And I mean, it's pretty safe to assume that Kerr knows that that Snute took his base at his third, but it wasn't actually scouted, so he hasn't actually physically seen that base, although he can probably assume that it's there. So all the information is in the hand of Snute at this point in the game.
Yeah, you're right. And Snute having free base play, very standard against Protoss. Kerr doing a nice run by with a single Zealot. Now he may pick up Probo too. Oh, a very nice micro by Snute. He's just blocking this this poor Zealot so hard. And back to bed, this Zealot goes as well. Now, if we take a look at the workers killed, it seems that Snute has killed 4 of Kerr's workers with just a bunch of Zerglings, so that even paid the price for the Zerglings almost.
And just the information is so valuable that definitely worth those 6 Zerglings very easily.
Now, I wonder what Snute is doing with these 2 overlords here. I would imagine he would want to place one of them somewhere in the back of the main base to have a look on the gases in main. But then he sees 2 gases at the expansion, and he'll going to get to scout for the second one. And I guess that's a tell that he may be going, sorry, Kerr may be going for a Sentry Immortal all-in.
It's definitely possible he has all 4 of his.
Although, no, sorry, he's not. He's going for a 3rd base. He didn't do the +1 upgrade, and that's a big tell. If a Protoss doesn't go for a +1 upgrade and you don't see the Forge working, that means he's not going for a Sentry Immortal all-in, even though it may seem so. So, Kerr will be taking the 3rd.
Very nice, very nice. Good to know. I'll write that in my notebook of things. Next time.
Kerr told me himself last week.
Oh, nice. Cool. You got to talk to Kerr after. It's definitely good.
Okay, so where do you see this game going from now?
Well, I mean, Kerr's picking up a 3rd base. We don't see... We have the layer up. We have double Evo. Infestation Pit and the Roach Warren down, so Snute just getting his tech and his bases all up and running without very much pressure from Kerr. So both of them just sort of backing off and saying, "All right, let's go directly to the middle of the game. The beginning of the game, we can skip that part. I'm not interested in it anymore."
But the timing, of this of the scout that Snute does is just perfect. He scouts at the 9-minute mark, and he tried to drop a changeling. He sees the 3rd base, so he knows what's going on right now, and he's safe. But the timing on checking that, if there are any star pods, if there are any massive amounts of gateways in Kerr's base, that was just the way that you should do it as a Zerg player.
Has this really awesome gateway wall up for Kerr, so it's gonna bring him up to 1, 2, 3, 4,
I'm not
5,
sure I agree with that completely.
Gates.
I mean, the gate, the whole wall is pretty solid, but what it does in the late game perspective is it kind of narrows down your path to your 4th base as a Protoss. So if the game drags, he will actually regret that. Now, what a lot of players do is they make a wall of here at the natural near the rocks, because it's even easier and it takes less gateways to have this walled off, and you can place cannons up front, so you get extra couple of hits when the roaches or whatever tries to approach the ramp. It's all nice. So this.
Ooh, okay,
what?
so he's totally walling in at his 3rd base. So
yeah,
either he's planning on staying 3 bases, or he might make the move where he takes this other base as his 4th base. So that way he's in close pushing distance to the Zerg 4th base. So we can get really aggressive with that. I'm definitely interested to see if that's the follow-up he's going to make.
Well, on the other hand, I'm just curious what he's going for. Now, he's going for both, Colossi and Extended Thermal Lance, and we have to be... I was wondering if he's going to do that. That's kind of risky, but then, what Zergs do, if you ask yourself a question, what do Zergs do? And, you'll say, oh, well, they puke stuff around the map. That's basically what the Zergs do. No, but, in terms of a late game, what Zergs do? He hasn't attacked me. Snute hasn't attacked me, so what is he doing? He's expanding, that's for sure, but what he's also doing is he's most likely teching to Broodlords. That's the end game combination. So instead of trying to attack or moving out of his army, Kerr just plays this awesome mind game where he reacts to the fact that he's not being attacked, and he builds a fleet beacon. He has a Nexus, so he'll have a mothership pretty soon, and he's getting ready for the end game with skipping the mid game. That's a very technical play that we're seeing right now.
Really nice moves, and actually Snoot's even going to take a 5th at this point in time since his opponent has been so passive, so capitalizing on that is going to help him stay alive in this
but
this
he
mid
needs
to late game.
Kerr needs to be careful. I'm sorry to interrupt. Oh, the worst has
nice
happened.
Fungal.
A fungal landed.
Fungal.
Yeah, it landed.
Catches a couple roaches, but
yeah, the
of
fungal
damage.
has landed straight on the sentries, and that's huge. And if another lands, the sentries will be down, and that means no force fields for some time.
Really nice force fields though to just push those infestors out of range, so they couldn't get the chain fungal in. So nice defensive play there from Kerr.
So right now, let's sum this up. Snute is going for a multi-base play, which is good. He's a Zerg, and he knows, okay, I can afford it. The Protoss is playing defensively. What Kerr does in the meanwhile is trying to upgrade as heavily as possible, and he goes for a Mothership. What we can see in a minute, I guess, will be a transition to Temper Archives. Yes! I have my crystal ball with me, and I'm just predicting the future left and right.
There may or may not be an Archon toilet in your future.
Well, it will not be in Heart of the Swarm because the Vortex has been moved out of the game, but here it sure will be.
This may be the last chance we get to see an Archon toilet on the Jägerless Master Cup. This may be it.
It's
Maybe the last Archon toilet we have the opportunity to see.
You're getting me emotional now. That's the last Archon. Oh, that's so bad. I'll be missing you guys. You have been great throughout the last 2 years. No, but Archon Toilet, I remember when Starcraft 2 was just out of the beta and has launched, and the Archon Toilet was kind of, you know, found out. And people were saying, this is too fancy a strategy, this will never be a standard play. It requires too much, it's not effective, you don't play that way, pro players won't do it, and you know, eventually it became the metagame.
Yeah, and I think actually it's funny that you mentioned that, because that's usually the reaction to pretty much anything that's super different from the general, from a lot of people. They'll just be like, oh yeah, that weird thing, I guess it works, but it'll never be in pro play. It'll never be standard. It's just like, well, maybe it will be.
And there's a second thing exactly like that in this game. Snute is going for a mass spine crawler. Now, this strategy has kinda appeared. Oh, there's a roach approach, a roach run by here, but it will be caught and picked off. A nice force field. There's no way these roaches are going to do any real damage. So the mass spine crawler. Oh, a very smart move with the Mothership. The roaches are not even able to target the workers. Not to mention.
Oh my god. I didn't
move.
even notice that till just now. Nice move. That was awesome.
So anyway, mass spine crawlers, they were introduced by Kespa players who transitioned to Starcraft 2. And people were saying, it's kinda awkward, kinda weird to have this many spine crawlers. Why do you need them? And Kespa players were using that to secure themselves when they were doing a heavy tech transition. And you know, it just kinda clicked, and people started doing it more and more.
Yeah, spine crawlers just do outrageous damage to ground units. Outrageous, obviously, is my word of the day. But yeah, it's a lot of damage. Terrible damage to ground units. So
I usually abuse the word awesome. You know, I even scaled it recently. So there's awesome, there's awesomer, and there's the awesomest.
all right, good to know. So that way we can have a feel for exactly how much awesome is involved.
Yeah, exactly. From 1 to 10, how much awesome you are.
Right. That's good to know. It's an important fact to know.
Okay, Snute doing again a nice run by, and I kind of get the feeling that Snute's play is largely, I wouldn't say invented, but he is playing a style that's very similar to what Nerdshow is playing, and he may just got inspired by Nerdshow. Nerdshow does exactly the same sort of roach run-bys, runs around the map, keeps them mobile all the time, small groups only, but deal a lot of damage if they manage to. And Kerr is just massing up his huge army. He's even doing a shield upgrade, or how my colleague would call it, the how do you call that? Sorry, the sperm upgrade. Because it you know, it looks like a picture from the books for the kids that you know show, oh, where do the kids come from, and it looks right. The shield upgrade looks exactly like a picture from that sort of a book.
I mean, now that you mention it, it definitely does. You know,
once you notice, it never goes back. I couldn't forget that myself. For me, it's a sperm upgrade, and you know, it just stays that way.
Actually, that's a funny thing. I actually worked for FedEx for a while, and if you look at the word FedEx, there's an arrow.
I know.
And a spoon.
A spoon?
There's a spoon. Yeah. If you look carefully, there's an arrow and a spoon. And from that point on, someone mentioned it while I was working there. I've always referred to FedEx as the arrow and the spoon.
Oh, that's a nice thing to know. I always saw the arrow, and I think that's actually quite smart to have an arrow in a logo of a transportation firm.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's awesome, and it messes up with your unconsciousness. So be careful if you're using FedEx. You're probably using it because of the arrow in the logo. But the spoon, you must show me the spoon.
I'll show you the spoon.
Okay, another knowledge bomb. Have you noticed that creep tumors have eyes?
I have not.
Yeah, creep tumors have eyes, man. If you take a look... Oh, a couple of investors caught here. A very nice cat. Oh, this one gets away with a 5 hit points. So if you take a look at a creep tumor, what it has is some small eyes. And you can see the eyelids. And from time to time, very rarely, these eyes actually blink.
Huh.
Yeah, you didn't know that.
Oh,
you cannot be a Starcraft. You
Oh.
cannot be a Starcraft 2 professional if you don't know that creep tumors have eyes.
Yeah, I mean with that I could probably at least rank up to Grandmasters. Just with that knowledge alone.
That's the current metagame. That's the current
metagame.
metagame.
Yeah, the current metagame is knowing whether or not the creep tumors have eyes.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's a big, just huge positioning war. Maxed Army versus Maxed Army, giant banks, all bases taken. This is turning out to be an epic first game.
Yeah, and what Protoss... And by the way, you may say, oh, this game may be boring. No, it's not. In fact, this is a very good technical play. There's a lot of harassment on the map, and the players are active with their armies at all times. By the way, nice picking of the changelings here. These changelings just got scared and they're running away to find another home where they will be able to live their remaining 112 seconds of life. But besides that, oh, a couple of infestors.
Oh,
No!
man, full energy infestors takes the queen too. One of the infestors gets away with 7 hit points.
Did you see that? That was so freaking close. There was a neural parasite on the mothership. If that could have gone very bad for the Protoss.
You have to drop a couple of vortexes. The mothership now has no energy and is a flying cloaking machine.
That's the worst that can happen. Now the question is, will Snute go for Banelings? When your opponent has, has a mothership, one way to counter that is just to go Banelings. And when he does the vortex, you allow him to make the vortex, and you just jump into that very funny pool with a bunch of Banelings, and they explode on the impact. So you know what happens as soon as the vortex is finished.
Wow, I've actually never seen that happen before. That'd be really cool if we could see that.
Yeah, so again, a play that's mainly used by Nerdshio. I have casted a ton of Nerdshio games, and by the way, I know...
I was going to ask you if you had casted Nerdshio before.
Yeah, oh my god, so many times. Yeah. I need to ask him to join our Heart of the Swarm tournament. He's, I wouldn't say he's a friend of mine, because we don't know ourselves that well, but we certainly talk at events, and, he recognizes me, so,
Well, that's always good. That's always a good thing.
Once you get a pro player's signature on your chest, he always recognizes you.
Well, I mean, if that's the key to victory, I mean, I'm gonna have to go get my chest signed, get to some events immediately, get my chest signed.
Alright, so the Protoss is trying to kind of make his mind about where to go. A very nice job clearing the creep of the map, which is always essential. Now, there is such a huge forest of spine crawlers here. I'm just wondering what Kerr is planning to do. He's expanding behind this, so always good, and he's limiting the possibilities of the Zerg. Now, this base here that Kerr is taking, this base normally goes to Zerg. In this game, it's the complete opposite.
At this point, he's got lockdown on the map, and actually, all these pylons, it's really nice to see this, he's got all these pylons all over the map just to scout for any run-bys that come by, and also to allow him to pretty much warp in wherever he wants to,
and by the way,
which is going to help him out a lot.
Check for the supply of the Zerg, 227 for 200.
Oh my god. Oh, no.
Talking about the swarm.
17 infestors, 26 broodlords. Nothing else for
Oh,
Army.
and the game is up, my dear friends. So what will happen?
Oh, nice blinking in.
Oh, but too much of the damage from the spine crawlers. Liquid Snute surrounding the stalkers. Not too many of them left. And oh my god, the mothership. Yes, it was parasited, and there's a double vortex that causes no damage to the Zerg whatsoever. Oh, poor mothership.
Oh no.
Snute.
Gonna have to reassess the situation, try to come back in some way.
Oh,
His mothership did not work out.
that's bad. Protoss right now is in a tough spot. He manages to reproduce his army right away, and oh my god, an engagement I think Snute didn't recognize coming, and the Protoss takes so many of these broodlords that are dropping like flies. The question is, will the damage from the broodlings be enough? Yes, there seems to be. The swarm is on its way to claim the victory. Where's my heart? It's yelling. And right now the Archons are approaching the front, which is always very good because they tank a lot of damage and they have a splash. Now a focus on the broodlords still. Oh!
A lot of broodlords going down. We're down to 7 broodlords. Oh, a lot of them are in the red. 5 broodlords.
Not so good for the Zerg. After the great engagement at the first and then kind of, you know, forcing the loss of the mothership, right now the Zerg is kind of screwed. I don't want to say that, but hey, we can cut that off later on.
All these infestors are really low in energy, so they can't really help out too much.
Yes, and by the way, you know, losing a bunch of stalkers and an Archons, it's kinda okay if you have such a huge bank, because reproducing them doesn't take that much of a time, and for the Zerg, making Corruptors and then morphing them to Broodlords, it's a total of, it's a total of, I think, 70 seconds, so it takes much longer than just warping in your units straight to the battlefield. So a very good game. This is how the end game Protoss versus Zerg, or Zerg versus Protoss, depends on which side you're cheering for, should look like.
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty solid example of the current metagame right now. It's gonna be interesting next week when we see this broken up by tempests.
Yeah, next week should be awesome. I mean, I'm really looking forward to the first half of the Swarm Cup we'll be doing. Oh, and Kerr did warp a couple of Dark Tempers to help clear the Zerglings. He will just transfer them probably to Archons again, or try to use them, see if the Zerg has detection, but probably
There's no detection over here.
Oh!
He's gonna go.
No,
oh,
there is.
Wait,
there is.
Where's the...
What is detecting here? I want to see what's detecting. What was it? I don't know what. Ah.
Oh, there's a Spore Crawler. It's underneath the. Oh my god. Look at this play from Snute. He's dropping creep on top of the Spore Crawler to make it look like there's not a Spore Crawler there.
Oh my god. This is the coolest move ever. And you don't notice that. You think, ah, he doesn't have any detection.
Oh look, all spines. No, yeah. Actually, no, there's a spore in there.
Wow, that's
even we knew it was there.
that's awesomer.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my god, that was good. So we'll have one more big engagement now. I think Protoss won't be going for a mothership. He only goes for a lot of Archons, and you know, all upgrades are done. Now the problem is that Zerg's upgrades are also done, and it all will maybe come down to the Fungals. And as we can see, the Infestors have tons and tons of energy. Snute's still trying to do some run-bys, which is a very good attempt. You have to do that. But at this time, I just get the feeling that he's contained within his own sets of bases, and he cannot move any further.
Yeah, and the thing is, Snute definitely has a stronger army, I feel, heads up. But he's run out of time. He's run out of bases and minerals. You know, Kerr has the map. He has more bases. And he's making sure that his opponent's not getting any more. So he has one more max that he's working with right now, but his gas is so low. He only has 400 gas in the bank. He's not going to be able to remake too many Broodlords if this group dies.
And these guys are just making our computers to jump through hoops, really, because I have like 13 FPSs. Yes! While streaming, that's an achievement, though. So anyway, Kerr is going very offensively. Now the question is, will Snute move here? It's a great time to catch him, and some of the Archons are out of position here on the right. Oh, the mothership is waiting.
Oh,
no!
He drops. Oh no.
Not so good. Not so good. And Kerr in an identical
Gotta
situation.
start filling up that bank.
Yes. And the problem is that these units they may be going to die, but you cannot reproduce them because they are still trapped in the vortex. So that's one huge disadvantage. And I guess Snute will be trying to move forward with this because he already has lost most of his defenses. The spine crawlers are very how you say that? Where they are
dead?
Yeah.
Very dead. Very much destroyed.
Very dead. Very dead. They are so dead.
They're like so dead.
Yeah.
So much better without Mom.
And
Snoot's like, yeah, this is boring.
He's snoring.
No problem.
So how many Broodlords does Snute have? 21.
Right.
And 14 infestors. Now on the other side of the map we have Kerr, who takes down the base of Snute that he had here in the bottom right corner of the map. Well, not much that Snute can do. The only thing I believe that Kerr can do right now is just abuse the fact that Snute's army is very mobile.
And I mean, these are all of the drones of Snute. Snute has 0 drones. If his army dies, he is in huge trouble with only 1,000 gas. That's it. This is it. He's trying to rebuild his drones now. He's actually building his greater spire, which got killed off, maybe? He's rebuilding a greater spire, it looks like.
What?
So,
what?
yeah. Yeah, that's what's happening. It's real. It's happening now.
In Heart of the Swarm, we would just be able to spend 3 seconds, go to a different tab, click it, and see if there is any present present spire on the map. But right now, we just need to take it for granted that the previous one has been taken down. I'm looking for Heart of the Swarm so much. I'm so hyped for this game, and I tell you, it's not because of the trailer.
I don't know, it's at least a little bit because of the trailer. Small
yeah,
amount.
you know, it's all because of the
trailer.
Viking. It's all because of the Viking that landed in front of the Ultralisk to impress 2 ladies banshees, and he wanted to have a double date. That's
but
what
yeah,
happens.
but he got squished.
Yeah.
He got squished. Oh no. And the Broodlord army is way out of position here.
Ooh, so many infestors. Do you see that? If this gets caught, oh my god, this is going to be huge.
Right on top of him.
All the gas that has been possessed by Snute just makes a poof sound and disappears.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yep.
Not too good.
And he can even take out this base, which he does. The counterattack coming in from Snute, so he decides, you don't have a base over there? I'm not going to have a base over here either. Perfect. No one will have any bases at all. You can't have any bases, neither can I. Or vice versa. God, I am saying things backwards today.
No problem.
But yeah, so we have a reset. We have a reset to some degree. What are we at for drones? Rebuilding the 18 drones. The bank is slowly dwindling for Snute.
I would say that you know, Protoss is in an advantage, but the problem is he has lost the bases that we're mining, except this one, and he doesn't have enough workers. So at this point in the game, the worker management just becomes an issue because you need to keep your eye on your army. It costs so much. It's basically your baby that you need to look after, and you can't afford to lose it. And then you still need to micromanage your workers, make sure that every base has a set of workers that are just right in the numbers, and yeah.
Yeah, if you check out the income tab, it's about 400 minerals income and 250 hard gas income for a pro player.
5 bases.
And 0 income from Snute. Oh, he's making it up. He's finally getting some income now, but 0 income from Snute for the longest amount of time. And the March of the Spawns!
Oh my god, another huge...
The March of the Penguins.
I never heard anyone call that before. Kerr right now does a ton of damage, but also Spine Crawlers did manage to burrow in time, so I'm sorry. No sex for Benny Lama, as they say.
Direct engagement, I really feel like Kerr is not trying to get into a direct engagement right now.
Well, yes, his bank also dwindled, so he's relying on mass Archons. He has 11 of them. That's a lot in terms of Archon numbers. That's, you know, one of the highest numbers you can go for. He's just trying to make some false shots of the Broodlords. If you manage to make the Broodlords make the first couple of false shots, because this is when they fire 2 Broodlings instead of 1. If they fire the first shot of two Broodlings and they waste it, then you can basically engage and they will only be firing a single Broodling each time. So anyway, a missed position for the Protoss, but he still goes in and Kerr blinks under!
Target firing all the Broodlords. The Broodlords are dropping really quickly, but there's a lot of Broodlings. And the Transfuses, that's a lot of Queens. That's a lot of Queens, I don't know. He's trying to keep all the Broodlords alive. But it's not looking too good. He's down to 11.
Not so good, and the Broodlings get really clearly picked off by the Colossi here. There's a number of
maybe he doesn't. I don't know.
This is so crazy. This is so crazy. I think that the Zerg will get this. Oh my god.
Got 5 Broodlords. And he cleans up the anti-air. He has 5 Broodlords left. Lots of High Templar morphing in. Both players are down to 60 and 62 supply.
They just can't kill themselves out, you know. It's wow,
yep.
That was
income and huge advantage for Kerr right now, though. He's got way more income than his opponent, so it's going to make a big difference as far as that goes. Or he'll be able to rebuild his army much faster than his opponent. Only 5 Broodlords on the field.
Not so good for the Protoss. Now, I think that this engagement was key because both of these players don't have a huge bank. Well, in fact, they don't have a bank at all. And Protoss's army is just much more expensive. If we take a look at the... Wow, do you see that? If you take a look at units lost in terms of resources, both of these guys have lost nearly exactly the same number, which is 57,000 resources for the units.
Yeah.
So this game is as equal as it gets, and you know, talking about unofficial finals here, it is an unofficial
and this is
final.
game 1.
This is game 1.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is game 1. They have to play another game after this, maybe 2. And the March of the Spines continues. He's gonna make his way over and plant the Spine Crawler wall in to protect this base, and that's really all that's left. We have the base of the left middle and the base of the right middle, and that's pretty much what it's come down to.
Oh well, I think that a Java update for all Polish master.
I know.
It happens to the best.
Yeah, you know, Java updates happen.
By the way, in Polish, Java also means reality. So we always make silly jokes about reality updating.
Need a current update of my reality. Yeah. My past reality cannot handle the situation.
But it seems that Snute is slowly making his way to destroy Kerr. And he's being careful not to lose his Broodlords because they are very precious for him. He also needs to be careful about the positioning of Kerr's army around the map, but I think he got this. Now, regarding the bizarre things that you can translate into Polish, or not translate, is a producer of light bulbs called Osram. And, you know, Osram, I think that's a Swedish firm. I'm not so sure, but I think it's Swedish. And Osram in Polish means to take a dump on something. So you go to a shop and you know, you buy so you know,
Osram light bulb.
Yeah, it gets bizarre. So Kerr right now doing a run-by with a bunch of Zealots. Now this can possibly damage the Roach Warren and Spawning Pool, and if he takes down the Hive, That could be huge. Yes, he goes directly for the hive. He thinks, oh my god, the Christmas came early this year. And no, only half of the Zealots, right, because the Zealots are upgraded with +3/+3, so the hive goes down for oh so quickly. But now Snoot's army is also in Kerr's backyard, and I'm not sure that he has enough to deal with this all.
But take a look at the supply. It's almost double the supply for Kerr compared to Snute. He's had his economy up and running a lot longer, whereas Snute mined out a lot sooner.
Yeah, but take a look at the numbers of spine crawlers for Snute. That's also now this has been one of the weirdest end game Protoss versus Zerg. Usually it happens in a matter of a vortex or two, and you know there's a question if the banelings get into the vortex or if a neural parasite lands correctly on the mothership. But this game has been absurd, and the hive did go down. So I'm sorry, right now Snute is kind of out of options. He's producing a couple of infestors, but that's all the guys
that's gonna go down too.
Yeah.
No Greater Spire, no hive, no spawning pool. He started from complete scratch. He has his army, and that is all. He's rebuilding a spawning pool right now. But I don't think he started a lair before that. Nope, he didn't. So tier 3 is very far away from Snute right now with his 5 Broodlords only. He's got to be really careful with them. And
nearly everything for Snute, nearly every base except this one, this single one that he's guarding so preciously. This is the only base remaining that mines and that has minerals. That's worth noting. There are no minerals on the Snute side of map. He has mined them all. Now Kerr, you cannot say that about him. Oh, this base would be a nice little treat for Snute if he finds it, because it's unguarded. But besides that, I think
besides the giant army that was there,
yeah,
he's gonna have to go with some mobile defense. No cannons, but he'll keep his army here to protect it.
So I always wonder what sort of thoughts go through the minds of the players in a situation like this, because this is horrible, you know. And it seems that even though Snute has won a couple of those very important battles, eventually with the mobility and just controlling the map, Kerr is able to hold into this game and you know, has a double supply lead right now.
And he's been maintaining that supply lead for a while, so
exactly.
Very difficult for Snute to catch up.
Is he going for a remax though? I think he is. Oh my god.
I mean, that's what I was just thinking. I mean, I was gonna ask, what would you do in this situation? Just remax and push? I mean, then remax again? I don't know.
And playing that on stream gives you a pressure because you are thinking, oh my god, all these people are watching this extremely long game. What should I do now? Yeah. So it gets tough for both of these guys, and Snute is just decided to be extra careful and just taking his time. All right, let's go with the random questions trivia. We have to talk about something.
That's what we do.
Yeah,
we're talkers.
We talk about stuff. What was the best movie you recently saw?
Recently? I actually just saw The Company Men. It's a movie about American downsizing and like the effects on workers and stuff like that. It was a regular movie, like a story type movie, but it had like a really deep message in it. It was pretty excellent to watch.
Okay, I may watch that.
Yeah, I definitely suggest checking it out. It's on Netflix, so like it's very difficult, I find, to find a movie that I like to watch on Netflix, because they usually have like the movies that don't do so well because they're less expensive to get the rights.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I watched that one just last night. It was quite good.
Alright,
yeah.
So now you ask me a random question.
Okay. If you were a Broodlord, whose army would you be in? You know, I mean, you got a lot of options. You could be in Lennox's army. You could be in Snute's army.
No, I was more thinking. I was more thinking in terms of Starcraft 2 trivia. Would I be in Kerrigan's army or the Overmind? Because
okay,
you know,
that's also an option. I mean,
yeah,
the door is open.
If I would be a Broodlord, I would go and sell the rights to my body to a plush making industry. Because the Broodlord plush is one of the sweetest things I have ever seen in my life.
And probably the most popular thing on Reddit.
Yeah. Well, except the Zergling from Cardboard Animations.
Oh yeah, the Zergling plushies are slightly more popular, but I mean, I think that Reddit, the favorite thing of Reddit is plushies. Anything that's plush involved in it, but especially the Broodlord plush, definitely a good move. The plush army even. You could have an army from plush.
Guys,
Slush would change his name to be Plush, and he would always make Broodlords and Zerglings because they're the cutest when they're turned into Plush.
Oh yeah. Now, guys, let's give this a little bit of spice. Guys at the chat, fire off some questions at us, and we will try to come up with an answer. Not questions like, what's the distance to the nearest star? In meters, please. I don't know that. I used to know that, but I have forgot since I've been playing too much Starcraft. So
too
the
much
distance
Starcraft or not enough?
Well, the distance to the nearest star for me is the distance from my bedroom to my computer, because when I log into Starcraft, I'm able to travel around the universe. And I just need to sit in my chair, which is extremely comfortable, by the way. So anyway, guys, what are your questions? Let us know a bit about the Jack attack. What's your favorite food, man?
My favorite food right now... Oh, God, that's so hard. Oh, that is so hard. Falafel. Falafel wraps.
What?
Falafel?
What is
that?
that?
Have you never had falafel?
Maybe I had, but in Polish it probably sounds exactly the other way.
Yeah, falafel is a Greek dish. It's like fried chickpeas in a wrap with like cucumber sauce and a bunch of other stuff.
Ah, is it like gyros or tortilla?
It's similar, but it's pretty specific.
Okay.
It's check it out. Go look up some falafel. I don't know if they sell any in Poland, but they're pretty popular in the United States. They probably do.
We have all of sorts of restaurants over here. Okay. The next question from the chat is... The next question from the chat is... do you like pancakes? That's a big question.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's only one answer to that question, which is, of course, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the first question would be, are you a human being, and therefore you do like pancakes. Not a human being don't like pancakes. You know, they sort of correlated in that way. Blueberry pancakes are my favorite kind of pancakes. What are your favorite kind of pancakes?
So sweet.
Do you have a favorite kind?
To be honest, I'm quite plain with pancakes. I just like them with some sugar.
Yep. Okay.
And some sugar on it. That's the taste of my childhood, really. My grandmother used to make pancakes with sugar. And not too much, because that spoils the taste. It's too sweet. But a little bit, when it crunches in your teeth, that's just the type of pancakes I like. The recipe that my mother has done later on is kinda a mixture between a pancake and a pizza. And it doesn't get cooler than that if you mix a pancake with a pizza. So basically what she does is to the cake that you make pancakes with, she mixes up some onion, then a little bit of some sausage pieces, and you know, she does a pancake from that. On it we put a bit of tomato and some ketchup and cheese. So
wow,
it's a pancake
that is
pizza.
Pretty intense.
Yeah.
My grandparents are French Canadian, so we would have crepes all of the time. I love them, and that's how she made pancakes. She just made them not like regular pancakes that a lot of people know, but she'd make them very like thin, and I would put sugar on them and wrap them up and then eat them. It was very, very good. I'll be nice. Wait for you to mine out, but you will have to break this or we have a tie.
Yeah, I won't try. Oh my god, these guys are ballers.
Yeah. Pure patience. Pure patience.
Yeah.
Are you not going to try to break this?
A wild patience elemental has appeared.
Oh man.
Oh my god, we're going to have a regame. Oh my god.
Wait,
these
what?
guys, I don't know what to say about these games. Oh my god. What about the second semifinals set, by the way?
It's probably done by now.
Yeah, the people have gone to sleep. They said, screw this $100, we're not waiting. This was by far one of the weirdest game I have casted, and they were just two patient people sitting on their thumbs. They probably went to get a coffee at some time in the game. What would you expect? You know, it's a long time.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised that I don't know.
You can join the lobby.
I mean, I guess yeah, I guess it. I mean, they're both making the right decision. Neither one of them could really break the other, and
yeah,
turns into a tie. I've never seen that before.
I've never seen it either. But do you say either or either? By the way.
Either. You can say either or either.
All right, so either works fine.
Yep. Yeah, it's like tomato.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah, I know that one.
All right, good.
so anyway, guys, I think both of these players have been making very correct decisions, exactly like Jack said, and that's it. And they have been so damn patient. I have never seen people being so patient. I have seen once. I think it were who was it? Titan versus Slivko. I'm not sure, but I've seen. I don't remember the nicknames of the players, but I've seen a Protoss versus Zerg, where the situation basically became that a Zerg had a single base, but he had the last pair of gas geysers on the map, and that has won him a game. So that for me was the weirdest game I casted so far.
Yeah.
But you know, it has been decrowned right now.
Yeah, actually, I think this right now, is definitely the weirdest game I've ever casted. For sure. And it's funny because it was so standard. It's like, all right, Broodlord Infested, Mothership with the Colossus and the Archons, and then it was just like, what is going to happen?
And this is why I am so hyped about Heart of the Swarm, because in Heart of the Swarm there will be basically tiebreakers. There will be units that are designed to specifically break these sort of ties, and one of them is the Tempest. You know, then you will have much more harassment. Oh my god, this will be so awesome. If this would have been a match in Heart of the Swarm, it would last 30 minutes, even though with the endgame situation. So this is the reason why next Friday, we'll be casting a Heart of the Swarm tournament for $100, and we will cast it through the end of February until the Heart of the Swarm releases. So it should be cool. We're also kind of looking for some show matches with the players. So that's an open thought for you guys. We want to do some sort of a King of the Hill style.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Where basically we would have to pick someone for the first King of the Hill, and then, you know, we would match him in a show match against someone else, probably the winner of the last Yegalisk Master Cup, and these guys would fight for $50, and the guy who wins stays on the hill, and the guy who loses has to try again. And, you know, that would be additional motivation to participate in the Yegalisk Master Cup, I get.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
So anyway, this set has been something, and despite we have spent over an hour in this, sorry, it's not an hour actually. In Starcraft 2, time flies 30% faster, so it hasn't been an hour. It has been like 45 minutes. But in Starcraft 2 time, we have spent over an hour here, and we're still at a tie of 0-0. No.
Cloud Kingdom. So this time the positions are going to be reversed. In the top we have the Zerg, And the bottom, we have the Protoss.
Exactly. So, from, well, yeah. So basically, Kerr playing as the blue Protoss here. And then on the other hand, we have as a red Zerg, Liquid Snute, the newest member of the Team Liquid. So, I don't mean to be mean. However, I need to ask you one question. What do you think will happen this game?
The exact same thing will happen again. It
No,
will take,
no, don't say that.
2 hours it will take.
You're fired.
And then we'll regame again. No, that won't happen again.
What was that movie? Was it The Day of the Weasel or
Groundhog Day? Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get caught in a space-time continuum loop, and we will need to wait for Jean-Luc Picard to pick us up on the way. That's what's going to happen, mate. I don't see any other way out of this. We'll be forever casting on this map Snute versus Kerr, and it will forever end in a tie after an hour of play. And I guess I must have been hit by a car, and this is how hell looks like.
Well, you know what the thing is, though. I mean, I was saying before, okay, these guys are probably really tired, and they're gonna have to play at least 1, if not 2 more games. Now they have to play at least 2, if not 3 more games after this to get into the finals, where they will play a best of 5. Like, oh man, I would be so exhausted if I were these players right now. They're not even taking a break.
I would be so exhausted if I were casting this.
Oh, me too, man. I would. Oh god, if I were casting this and I were looking at my drinks that were totally empty from drinking the whole time, just like wishing that they would fill up with hot tea and water. Yeah, if that were true, whew, that'd be rough.
Yeah.
That would definitely be rough.
By the way, could I ask my very dear wife to give me a little bit more water? Because I had like 1 liter, and I thought, okay, that's going to be enough for this tournament, but it ran out the last match.
Yep. So quick 3 hatch for Snute. And Forge Fast Expand for Kerr, so the usual stuff that we're used to seeing. A little bit of deja vu.
I don't even know what to say about this. So, a random question.
Alright.
If you were a larva, what would you like to morph into?
If I were a larva, I would like to morph into the drone that builds the natural expansion that isn't being cannon rushed, so that I'm therefore responsible for the rest of the army that comes out of the natural expansion. Done.
Alright. That makes sense. I think that the worst thing that can happen to a larva is when it dreams about being a corruptor and then broodlord, and then you hear that screechy voice in the background. We need more overlords. And oh shit, you know, that's the end of your career. You're going to be a flying ball of fluff, I guess.
Yeah.
How would you describe an overlord?
Even the larva that the expansion gets destroyed, the larva doesn't get destroyed, and the creep just slowly moves in, and the larva's just like wiggling around, trying to find a place with creep, and eventually just like has to die because it can't exist without the creep. It's just saddest larva in the world.
You know what would be the killer feature or a killer mod for Starcraft? If they would make a mod where, you know, what I noticed is that the overlords have a lot of spikes, and they are also sort of balloons. So when you combine a balloon and a spike, what you get is a boom sound. So what would be a nice mod is a one that makes your overlord go pop if they touch themselves.
Oh, or if they touch overlords in ZVZ.
Yeah, if
cool.
2 bump into each other, they would just go. That would be an awesome mod. I think that's the solution to the balance of Zerg versus any other race.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I really like this hatchery placement, the macro hatchery, because once it finishes, it's actually going to give him better mining efficiency on these 2 mineral patches up at the top. So
that's
pretty cool little trick. Pretty
Yeah.
cool little trick coming out of Snute, getting every advantage you can.
Do you think he'll be going for a Stefano style play with lots of roaches?
We have the 2 Evo chambers coming up.
Yeah, we have a macro hatch. We have basically every single sign of a Stefano play, except Stefano himself.
Well, you know, I mean, Stefano, you know, he could be channeling his energy through Snute right now. We don't know that, you know. He could
Mind
be
controlling over the ocean.
I mean, he can mind control. He's a Zerg, you know. Zerg have that ability.
Yeah.
So, it could happen.
So
It
the
definitely
reason
happen.
why Stefano was dropped out of GSL, the only reason for that is that he was playing 5 games at a time at that point in time.
Yeah, well, I mean, normally Stefano's playing 3 games at a time, but he just went too far and started playing 5 games at a time instead.
Yeah, he got overconfident, and this is
Yep.
where overconfidence brings you. You know, it brings you down. So anyway, I think we're seeing exactly the same. Sorry, let's make that back. We're seeing exactly the same style of play from Kerr as recently. There's the same wall off. This is still Immortal Sentry expand with an upgrade just going right now, and boy, I wish I could have a bag of popcorn next to me. The reason why I say that is that the last game made me so hungry. But this is what happens. It takes stamina not only to play, but also to cast. And I think we geeks are underappreciated for our stamina. People say, oh, you're weak. No, no, no. The nerds of the world unite, because you are the most... how do you say that? You're the most...
Probably awesomest
yeah.
human beings on the planet, maybe.
How do you scale stamina into
Stamina?
the most
Tenacious. You could say tenacious.
tenacious? Okay, tenacious is
But-
fine. I won't even check what that means. It broke my
Never give up.
serious.
Keep going. You just keep going. You never give up. Huge drop play incoming. Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Ah, my wife found a word. It's durable. Okay, so what we'll be having is some fantastic drop play that will end the game either way. So we will see. Oh, and I think her may be underprepared for this. Overlords are making their way through. Banelings are inside. Nice force fields, but I'm sorry, I fly over force fields. Another set of force fields, but not enough. Banelings on Immortals. That's not too good. But is there enough? No, there is not. So, in fact, Kerr manages to defend this, and I think Snute will be feeling sorry. But then, there's a whole stream of Zerglings coming from his base, and from where I stand, this may as well be a loss for Kerr.
It's definitely looking like it. All this coming in. I really have to give it to Kerr for that defense, though. So far, he's only lost 2 workers from that entire drop. So, well done, valiant effort, but this is going to be really tough to come back from, if not impossible.
Yeah, but Kerr has done comebacks before, and he's very well known for them. I think he's making he's making himself a name on the internet in our series of tournaments, because he gives only the best of appearances here, and you know, it's awesome to have him. So Kerr, if
Absolutely.
you're watching this on YouTube, thank you very much for joining.
Definitely. Really strong play coming out of Kerr.
So right now Snute is backing off. He already has his 4th base, and he's going for a Spire, which is a good decision, because right now Kerr is kind of devastated with so many losses, and he still hasn't recovered. There's still a couple of Zerglings here. There is a Colossi here. So, you know, I feel that he may go for either straight into Broodlords and just go Hive somewhere on the way, or he can go for Mutas, which would be equally as effective at this point in the game, but not so much after that.
Yeah, Pathogen Glands finishing up. So he does have that Infestor option whenever he wants it. He's got 4 bases up and running, and he killed 25 workers. So he is feeling really, really excellently. More than double population supply advantage.
Yeah.
He's gonna come right up this ramp.
Alright, so in the background for the Protoss we have the Templar Archive finishing, so right now the Templars will be able to read some books and enjoy their leisure time as soon as the Liquid Snute's army disappears from here, but the question is, will it? A lot of sentries in the front get picked off, and oh my god, Snute is going to do this with pure ground force, a lot of roaches, a bunch of Zerglings, still great force fields that try to protect the forge, but I'm sorry, it will not happen. You don't have these many force fields after all, my dear friend, and Snute is just impervious to the fact that these Colossi deal so much damage. He just knows what he wants in life, and that is killing as many sentries as possible.
He definitely got a lot of them there. Now he can just head right over into this third base. One of the advantages of going in with this wall, though, is he does get to surround the forces that make a sweep by. They have no escape. They can run by and try to deal damage to this base, but they can't. They have nowhere to go after that. There's no run by.
And there's a bunch of mutas. There's a bunch of mutas here, and since there are no High Templars with Storm, because the Storm tech is not done yet. Oh, and the High Templars gets picked off right now, and we have GG. That single factor has determined.
Make whirl.
Yeah, make whirlwind. So that means the next map is going to be whirlwind, because Kerr has, he has the priority for voting for the next map. So 1-0 for Snute, a very nice play, exactly the opposite of what we saw the previous game. What can I say? Guys, we'll be back after a short commercial break because I need to stretch my legs. Oh my god, I haven't sat so long in a row for a very long while. See you later, alligator. By the way, guys, I'd like to remind you that you can win a Yegalis TV themed t-shirt if you go to Team Liquid. There's a thread about this tournament, and since we have so many of you here, I will just take an advantage of that. If you go to the Team Liquid thread and you leave a comment right now during the stream, not after, during the stream hours, we will then pick one person who has left a comment on there or on Reddit, and we will pick one person who gets a t-shirt. So that will be happening every week. We just want to encourage you to leave us feedback because we really care for that. Now, the players really care for kicking some butts, so we're into the game number 3 with a +1 lead for Snute. Yep, and the game is loading. The next map that has been picked by Kerr is GSL Whirlwind. So since it's a GSL map, what I will do is I will do a GSL voice introductions. Here, on the bottom right corner of the map, we have a red Zerg spawning. It is Liquidus Snute. And on the other side of the map, we have a blue Protoss, who is Kuru Kuru. I couldn't stop myself. Alright, so anyway, Jack, you're with me?
I am here.
Yes. And someone on the chat says, no, it's game number 2. No, it's not. It's game number 3. The reason why it's 1-0 is we had a tie the first game. I think it's a very rare situation where players get into a tie.
It definitely is.
Now, I always wonder how the minds of the players work during such a stalemate situation. When you're playing, on a ladder, you could say, oh my god, this is so boring. I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes of my life wasting my time in this ladder game. Instead, I could be watching some boobs over the internet. And, the question is, would you alt-tab out of such a game and go have a chat with friends, have a coffee, or would you stay and be tense till the very end?
I don't know, man. I think some people get so frustrated they just leave in that kind of a game. Man.
But not these two guys. No, no.
No.
That's below their dignity.
No, they're not gonna give up.
By the way, you're doing a terrific job, because casting such a long game is one of the hardest things that you could ask a caster to do, especially when it's a stalemate. So I'm very happy you're here with me and assisting. If I would be to solo cast this, they would find my dead body somewhere in a bush tomorrow. It's too much. I can't take it.
Your throat would actually just fall out of your throat, which doesn't make sense in words, but it actually happens. And
hey honey, are these my lungs?
And you would never see your throat again. It's like, no, I'm not working with you anymore. You've abused me. I am not going to do this with you anymore. Throat's like, I'm done. Not working
Please
together
cast,
anymore.
and then 5 years from now, I'm on the main stage of MLG, and they say you'll be casting a game of Snute. No!
it's Snute versus Kerr.
No!
On Cloud Kingdom.
No, they are my high school nemesis, Oh. All over again. So anyway, we have Kerr, who does a safe expand, 1 gas already. He may go for an 8-gate timing. I guess he's he knows he's on the losing side a bit, because he wasn't able to beat his opponent in game number 1. In game number 2, he was just straight up beaten by Liquid Snute. So I imagine, oh my god, is he really going for a sentry expand, or is he going for his awesome 8-gate timing? I imagine
he's only got 1 gas.
So that's,
I mean, usually
in
this kind of a situation, you do have 2 gases, so 8-gate definitely within the realm of likely possibilities here.
I think it's most definitely going to be an 8-gate, because we don't have any other gases. He just waits. Yeah, it's going to be an 8-gate. And Snute finds a sweet spot where he can attack the supply depot, causing infinite annoyance to Kerr, which builds a pylon over this.
Yeah, Snute does manage to get in with a scout though and see that one of the gases still hasn't been taken, so he might be able to make a guess as to what is up in this situation.
Yes, yes and no on the same. The question is, you know, how does Snute interpret this? Because normally when it's an 8-gate attack, you do +1 upgrade for your units. Now, what Kerr does, and he's famous for it recently, is he does it without the +1 attack. And you know, we already have the multi-gate spawn, and yes, it's going to be an 8-gate. You can call my how do you call the person? Sorry, I don't want to be racist or anything. The gypsy. Do you call that a gypsy?
Fortune teller.
A fortune teller. Psychic. Thank you very much, because the gypsies are very well known for being great fortune tellers. This is what I meant. So anyway, you can call my fortune teller and tell her she's fired because I can already predict the future, man. No +1 upgrade, no gases. That means 8-gate with no +1. Let's see how Snute reacts to this now. Oh, very good pylon placement from Kerr. He
oh my god,
a lot of backup.
Pylons.
He just wants to be sure, because you know what Zerg does is often run around the map and he picks a lot of the pylons off if he's lucky or if he knows where the pylons are placed. But with what Kerr is doing right now is he's just making sure that no matter what happens, he'll be safe with the pylons. And he can afford that. He does the first round of warpins, and oh, the queens are in trouble now. The question is, will Snute have enough units? That's all that it will come down to. Oh my god, so many Zerglings!
This is a bad position for him. Oh. He can get flanked really easily, but he pulls back just in time. That was really close.
And the Zealots will be able to join the forces in a matter of seconds. Yes, the Zealots are so critical. Now with this attack and having only one gas, Kerr is not able to lose any of his stalkers. I mean, he can't lose any of his stalkers. If he does, then it's a loss. And right now he's just spawning the meatballs.
Guess he didn't want that probe anymore.
Oh,
nice around with the Zerglings.
Oh my god, and the stalkers get picked out, and I think this may be it for Kerr. He still hangs.
Way too many roaches and EGGs.
Yeah. Oh
man.
Again, a perfect timing with this 8-gate. Without +1, it hits at 740, which is extra early. MC's +1 8-gate attack hits at 8-minute mark, and normally players expect an 8-gate at that mark, but what Kerr does is a lot earlier. So I guess we'll be on to the second set of semifinals. We'll be back with you in a second, guys, and Snute goes to the finals.